Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. This is it.
This is Katy and Jonathan After Dark.
We are, this is going out to all the night owls out there.
All the meth heads.
All the meth
Party
heads.
and play, baby.
Yeah, and all the gay guys who couldn't hook up at the club. You're too sad.
So you fucked him instead.
You fucked a meth head. Okay, guys. My name is Jonathan CERDA-ROWELL.
And I am Catherine Ingrid French, a.k.a. Katy French.
And welcome to Living with Jonathan and Katy. We didn't harmonize, but I feel like it sounded to us that we did. But I know that we didn't.
I think that harmony is what you want it to be. Hashtag fake harmony.
Well, here's the thing. When singing together, and this is a cornerstone that the audience is going to need to know, the listeners out there, about our relationship. Singing together is a big pillar of who we are. I have always thought that the male should always take the higher part and the female the lower part, because that blend, it makes it harmonious.
And that's why I've always felt it's great that men make the higher wages and women make the lower wages.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
They take their
perfect harmony.
They take their vocal place in society.
In the world.
No, honestly, me and my boyfriend, we didn't even go a minute, and I already am talking about that I have
Being
a boyfriend.
gay.
About being gay. Yeah, butt sex.
The gay agenda is alive and strong here.
Butt sex. He has a beautiful voice, and it's particularly a falsetto, but he doesn't know anything about music. So when I tell him babe, stay on the melody, right? Because he can hear a tune and just sing it, and I'm like, and I will sing the harmony, because he doesn't get what a harmony is. And then he will always jump up to my harmony, and I'm like, stay on the melody. And he just goes, I'm naturally talented. And
now, who plays melody in bed?
It depends on what that means. If it means,
who plays harmony, top or bottom?
I would say the bottom plays melody, because that's
they keep the beat.
They keep the beat. But the top plays harmony, because honestly, harmony's harder, and to top is harder than bottom.
And it's the notes you don't hear.
Exactly.
That's the thing about it.
Also, I'm going to say something controversial about all the gay bottoms out there. Bottoming is so fucking easy. Like all you have to worry about is not shitting on them. But besides that, you just literally open your hole and tune out and just let the top do its thing. But the top has to stay hard, has to eat you out. I mean, we're already talking about all this.
Open up and tune out. That's what I've always said. I like that I'm lounging. Well, first of all, welcome to our brand new podcast, episode 1.
Brand spanking new. Now, for those people in the LA comedy scene who may know us, it may seem strange that 5 years into our best friendship, we are just starting a podcast together.
Yeah. If we were on track, we would have done it 2 weeks in.
Yes, absolutely.
And yes, does the world need another podcast?
From us, they do.
Yeah,
because you know what? They don't have a podcast from a straight white witch.
Yes.
And a gay Latino demon.
That's true.
Yes.
We are the first.
Yes.
Double penetration.
Podcast.
Why are we going so dirty so soon?
I don't know, because it's easy. That's what all the good comics say. Dirty's easy.
Yeah.
And everyone who works clean is the best comic. That's
why Christian comics
make the most money.
Are iconic.
Wait, do Christian comics actually make the most money? I would
Yeah,
not
because
be
they play
surprised.
mega churches.
We're all in the wrong industry.
This is our problem being Satanist comics. Satanists are poor, and I've always said that.
Because Satanists do the noble work.
Yeah, because they do the real work.
They do the real
real unpaid work.
Honestly, I do love how Satanists are not literal. You know what I mean? Everyone's like, you worship Satan, and then they're like, you're being so literal right now. I do love that they are metaphorically. Honestly, Satanists are, I think, the world's first hipsters. They're it's a metaphor. It's ironic.
Get it. I know. I feel that's how I call myself a Britney fan. I'm have I ever bought her albums? No, but
that's a lie.
But I follow
Katy in the 90s. You never bought her albums?
No, this is a true story. I own one Britney Spears intellectual property, and it is the single of "Hit Me Baby One More Time." And it has a B-side where you know how when you would buy singles, it would be that artist promoting another one?
Yes.
And I'll have to look this up. I can't remember, but I just remember that the single would play, and then Britney would go, hey y'all, I just want to introduce you to my new friends, Blackstreet, or somebody. It was some young, like, cool, and she literally was like, they're a bunch of cool guys. Listen up.
Oh my God, I would love it if the timeline actually worked out where Britney Spears was introducing Blackstreet. That is hilarious.
I can't remember who it is. I'll have to look.
I mean, it definitely was not Blackstreet.
I literally own this title, but I just remember her being like, my new friends, they're cool guys.
Was it 98 Degrees?
No, it was some black group.
Wow.
So yes, it was 98 Degrees.
They were a very black
Probably
group.
the most successful black group of all time.
Honestly, I would not be surprised if all their producers were black men and wrote their songs.
Oh, they were, but that's how all music goes.
And then they just put the white boy in the band, and they are the.
Well, he had an earring, I guess.
Yeah. Wait. So you weren't in? So Katie's ancient.
Yeah.
She's. Do you want to reveal your age?
305.
Right.
But not a day over 295.
Right.
292,
So
I should say.
you can imagine by the late 90s, she was a little past her prime for Britney, you know? I was prime for Britney because I was only 212 in the late 90s. So
demon.
I bought all of her stuff. I bought tickets to her Onyx hotel. Is it hotel? The Onyx.
The Onyx.
The Onyx tour. Yeah, and she broke her ankle and had to like refund us all, and we were devastated.
I went and saw her at the circus tour, and it was post blackout breakdown.
Oh no.
And it was her first tour where it was a stadium tour, and they did not have cameras on her. There was no big screens like every other place.
Right.
Obviously, because you're like, I'm paying all this money, I need to at least see their face via camera.
Right.
None, because she was so unpredictable. And so you literally just watched like little ants performing, and it was like a big spectacle circus. It was very Moulin Rouge.
Were people saying shit?
No.
Like commenting like, why isn't there a big screen camera?
I don't think like the internet was that poppin'. I don't know. It was quite obvious that they were like hiding her. That was the tour too, where a fan ran on stage, and then she like has a meltdown.
Really?
Do you know about the leaked Britney audio? This is like the first viral Britney. It was like Napster era. It's from her early show. Do you remember? She's backstage and her hot pack mic is still on, and she's like, yo, my pants are too short. My fucking pussy's hanging out.
Wait. I vaguely remember
we talked
this.
about this. It was like an early, like literally, it's like probably her first tour.
I mean,
she was in Brazil.
That is so funny. Well, at least in Brazil, no one could understand. I mean, I know there are people who speak English in Brazil, but like, even if that so it didn't go over the loudspeaker, right? It was just kind of like
it was at the crowd heard it, because whatever this is from is probably from the soundboard. Like the sound guy probably caught it because everyone heard it. She's like they're fucking vamping. Oh, she's mad too because someone's late, or I don't know. And then she's like, y'all, my pants are too short. And then she literally says like, my fucking pussy's hanging out.
But honestly, does your pussy just like sometimes hang out if pants are short?
I think the problem was that it was a Y2K pant, and so it was very. I want to say what she's saying is. Not her pants are too short, that they were too low.
Right. Oh, yeah, because that was like literally the pussy crack. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was a 1 inch.
Yeah, it's like...
It was a 1 inch zipper or a go home.
Yeah, it like literally just covered your pussy crack.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
what I loved those pants. It is weird, like... when I would like try on like my sister's clothes or whatever, like that they were too fat to like continue to wear back in the day, because they're totally like they're like early 90s kids, right? So when I would like get into puberty and like I started to get thin, because I was a little chubster when I was a little kid, but when I started to thin out and I was like, oh, maybe I could like fit into these like cute like 1995 leather pants that they would wear to the club. They would be so low. They make
leather dickies.
My sisters are famous cholas.
Yeah.
They were so low that like my like full like pubic mound and bush would like hang over onto the leather thing, and it was probably one of the grossest things that I've ever seen. So disgusting. So I honestly understand what Britney was talking about.
It was, y'all.
My pussy was literally hanging out.
So crazy. Oh my god.
So Katy, who the fuck are we?
Who are we? We're asking ourselves that all the time. We are two LA-based stand-up comedians and writers.
And not just LA-based. We are SoCal raised. I say SoCal
That's
because
true.
you're OC.
Yes.
And I am LA. I'm legit.
Yeah.
And
I'm the immigrant.
Right. She immigrated here. Yeah, we are comedians. We've been doing stand-up for close to a decade now.
What, 200 years.
Yes. And we thought the world needed another podcast.
Yes, very much so. We want to talk to people who are actually interesting, because that's the thing about comedy right now. It's not interesting.
Right. It's a lot of, kind of feeding back into the well. You know what I mean? Very like incestuous, a lot of like.
A comedian recently told me, I said, "What's your podcast about?" And he told me with a straight face, "I really am just trying to revive the art of conversation."
We had a web series also named Living with Jonathan and Katy, which was acclaimed. Millions of views.
Upwards of, 50s of views.
50 million.
50s.
And this is basically that. But we needed to do something that was not, $10,000 to produce every year. So we wanted to do something that is that we can keep releasing.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of things these days that people are putting out, and by people I mean all of our peers. No.
And you know what, Katy? We're here to fix it. We're here to fix the problem. Just go.
Yeah. No, but a lot of stuff I feel like these days that you listen to, it's either like a really boring fluff,
right,
or it's like a 10-part series on the Louis C.K. drama, and I don't care. Or it's
that's my other podcast, but whatever.
Yeah. Or it's like, I was a child bride inside of a bunker for 25 years. And you're like, okay, well, I am bummed out right now.
Well,
I would love to talk to
them. If there are child brides out there who were raised in bunkers, we would love to interview you.
Just tap on the ceiling right now.
Yes, to let us know.
And get rescued, and then write a book, and then we'll talk to you.
Yes. We're basically going to be interviewing interesting guests. If we will be interviewing some comedians, but it's not necessarily going to be about like what they do in comedy. It's going to be about like comedians who had, I don't know, like a tragic past. Did they slap Oprah one time and jailed for 5 years? Did they serve in Vietnam and, survive? Like that type of thing.
Yeah.
We want to know about the world, because we are here in our studio apartment that we've been sharing for 200 years together.
Yeah, 200 years.
And we need something to do.
We want to live. We all want to live.
Yeah.
So we thought for episode 1, since we'll be interviewing everybody else, we thought, you know what, why don't we just interview ourselves? Let's let the people know who we are, what we do.
Right.
What we care about, and all those things. So
right.
If you don't know, if you're not my mom.
So Katy, I'm going to treat you, I'm going to treat this like it's a general.
Okay.
At some big comedy company, a comedy company. Okay. I'm going to treat this. So Katy, who are you?
Thank you so much. And yes, I will have a water. Thanks. My name's Katy French. I am a stand-up comedian, 400 years old. I'll decide on my age later. I am a comedian and writer. I was born and raised in Orange County, California. Actually, I wasn't born there. I'm from Orange County.
Wait, where were you born?
San Diego.
That is so...
Also, AKA the pits of hell.
I feel very betrayed that I never knew that.
It's okay. Legally, it's fine.
You're a border baby.
I am. That's why, again, I am an immigrant, and I need to stand with dreamers right now.
Actually, we do.
Yeah. Moment of silence.
Go.
No. I'm a comedian, and I met you, actually, I think my first year doing comedy.
What? Oh, yeah. We did.
We did. We
yes.
met when we were children.
Yes.
We just had little devil tails.
Yes.
And we were the only non-white men, straight white males in the room. And it was literally like, in my mind, I remember seeing you on stage the first time, and you were so young. You were a child, truly.
I started comedy when I was 18, and I think we may have met when I was either 18 and a half or 19.
Truly.
So still a teenager, and I was fat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I still remember, I know you don't do this joke, but this is when I fell in love with you, is because you were telling a joke about how you would go to a place where there was a hot guy who was hand shaving chocolate.
Yes.
I don't know what it was, but I remember you said the line that you were annoyed at him, and you were like, are you trying to make me come in the shower 3 hours from now? Because he looked so hot shaving chocolate.
And I do remember the joke just lighting up the room.
Yeah.
It did actually hit. Never worked ever again.
One of those.
After, I've still to this day tried to make that line work, and it's let it go. That's just not going to work.
I don't know. I loved it. And I was like, I don't know who this kid is, but I love him. And we would casually see each other. You were LA. I was Orange County. We were star-crossed comedians.
Yes.
And we would see each other at the
Coffee Gallery
in Altadena. And then a few years later, I moved to LA, and I was like, I'm here, bitch.
and I bombarded you and I was like, we need to start a show, and you verbatim said, I don't really even know you. And then I said, it'll be fine. And then we just like started a show, and we did, and it's now 5 years later, and here we are, sitting on a floor.
We've gotten development deals. We've lost them. We've been canceled.
No, honestly, if we had ever had the success to get a development deal and then be canceled, I would feel so much better about myself right now in terms of our career. You know what I'm saying? And I know we do not do stand up jointly, but we do a lot of stuff together outside of stand up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
mostly spells,
mostly blood magic.
But
yeah, we've done a lot of things together, like sketches that went viral, sketches that failed.
Yes. Shows that failed.
Shows in which I got maybe drunk, maybe enraged at, and maybe perhaps made a scene at my own show. Many shows like that.
We will never tell. I don't know.
I didn't get canceled.
No.
I canceled everyone.
Yeah, that is true. You canceled everyone at one show.
I canceled the show during the show.
Dramatic meltdown.
Honestly, I'm much better now. That was 4 years ago.
That was 6 months ago. Okay,
no,
I have
it was
grown.
not. Guys, industry may be listening.
I know.
They need to know that I'm only just a little crazy, because you can't get rapped without a little crazy.
Yeah. What do we need to know? The highlights about me. My parents met at the Renaissance Fair.
Yes.
I was raised in white pagan culture.
Mm-hmm.
I was married. I killed a man. Sure.
And what was that marriage like?
Death for both of us. It was deeply abusive.
It is crazy to me to think of you as a divorcee.
It is, but it's very much my essence. In my mind, I am not lying here in a kimono, but I am lounging as though I'm wearing a kimono at all times.
There is something about me, my type of woman to be friends with, because we all know, every gay guy and female out there knows that there's an ancient bond between gay men and straight women.
Yes.
There is something that connects us.
Power.
The two women who are my best friends in comedy that I've had are you and very funny comedian Leah Kajanian, both divorcees.
Oh, it's great.
There's something about that.
Yeah.
I think my vibe is like, I've always been connected to like a woman who's like been divorced. Like there's a drama in like the divorce. Yeah. And then I just love the aftermath, because I just think a woman post-divorce is like very powerful.
To me, it's like, I want to say like, oh, I was in a marriage for 10 years and then I got divorced and I found me after.
Yeah.
And I'm like, literally, I was like 19, LOL, and then dissolution of marriage. Okay, not even proper divorce. And like, it was just a footnote.
Were you in love when you got married at 19?
I was in love with the idea of saving a man who needed a green card.
Got it. And then you resigned yourself for a few years to a life of Orange County suburbia.
Yes.
Which, if you don't have any aspirations to do anything showbiz, honestly could be great.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like white and young, you know what I mean?
But young professional. You have an after work kickball league.
Yeah.
You have an after work ping pong championship.
Right.
You have your favorite bar. You have a craft brewery. You play a lot of like adult Jenga.
Did you have an after school skull hunting group or whatever?
Ugh, not anymore. we all broke up. This is also a big part of our friendship.
Yeah. Because
we're trying now to be. We've been dark witches for a long time, and now we're trying to like move towards the light, because it's a new era. It's a new decade we're about to enter.
Yeah, we're about to enter the 2020s, guys. Yeah. This is huge.
2020, time to murder all our husbands.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that we have just been, I mean, not living in negativity. I feel like you have been the positive. You've been the white light
of your life.
Because you're white.
Literally every man in my life, it's like I am the light of their life. And like that's a hard burden for me to carry.
Well, I think you are attracted to the dark a little bit. Like your boyfriend,
I am of the dark, but I live in the light.
Yeah, like I feel like I veer very negative sometimes, or I can dread a lot and like let that dread just like get to me.
Yeah.
Because there's something addicting about
the toxicity,
the dread, you know, not exactly being toxic, but I guess to yourself maybe, you know, because it only actually affects you. I don't go around like talking to people about like, did you hear about that fire last week? You know, I wish I did, but
That fire.
well, that's talking about the dread, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
imparting dread upon society.
Right.
You know, it's like being like an apocalyptic Debbie Downer.
Right.
Yeah.
Apocalypto, because you're Latino.
Thank you so much.
But yes.
And 31% indigenous. It has been proven.
Um,
And I say that when I show up to every reservation.
yes. Native and other.
That is very insufferable. Like, I will say this, like, people who in earnest, like we do it in joking, but like in earnest be like, this is my percentage in my ancestry and this is why you can't tell me shit. And it's like, we can still tell you shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you're dumb.
Right.
All colors can be dumb.
Yeah. What was your ancestry test results?
99.9% white
And
demons.
0.00 what? 1%?
It was like East Asian, but really they meant like Siberian Russian.
Oh yeah. So that means you have like one ancestor who was banished to Siberia.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that was the fun aunt, I'm sure. Whoever it was, she was probably like no one's hot. No, it's like your grandmother, didn't she leave her village because no one was hot?
Oh, no. She didn't leave her pueblo. What she did is she like didn't get married until she was 30. And
Okay.
this was like in the 50s. And everyone was like, you're going to become barren. Like you're way too old to not be married. And she was like, literally everyone here is boring. And then my abuelito came into the town because he was from a different part of Michoacan in Mexico, and she was like, who is this? And he was younger by 5 years, and they ended up getting married. And she was like kind of like being like a, I don't know if she was dumb bitching or if she was like purposefully didn't know, but either way it's kind of cute, where like he would like sing to her outside of her work every day, and she was like, it's for like, you know, my friend, I guess. And then he had to finally be like, no, it was to you, you know, which I think it was her being dumb bitching.
That's dumb bitching.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have our own like vocab.
Yes.
So being a dumb bitch, DBing is when you like someone and you're like coming up with like a dumb reason to text them.
Yes.
It's like when you hang out with somebody and you like think they're hot, and then like 3 days later you go like, hey, what was that one really famous movie with Julia Roberts we were talking about? And
Right.
it's like, bitch, you could Google that, but that's a DB text.
Yes, it's like a very obvious, thinly veiled thing that you do just to open up a conversation
Yeah.
with someone. And it doesn't need to necessarily be with someone who you are romantically interested in.
Yeah.
It could be someone that you're sexually interested in, or just a friend who you just want to talk to, you know? A dumb bitch text is not, how are you? That's not a dumb bitch text.
No.
Dumb bitch texts,
It's
like,
always like, what? Or it's like if someone's like, you look like, if I was in full like full face makeup, and then you were like, oh my God, your eye makeup's so pretty. And I was like, what? I'm not even wearing some. Like,
I also
that's
dumb
very-
bitch called you the other day.
Oh, you did? And what was it
Yes.
about? I forget.
It was like, I just wanted to say something about a mistake that I made in the past. And I was like, and you know what? I'm not sorry.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you were like busy with something, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
were like, please tell me that's not why you called me. And I was like, no, but this is why I called you. The cords, they plug into the sockets, right? Are you sure? Did you check that the cords plugged into the sockets? That's very important. And you were like, yes. And then I was like, okay.
No,
So
this
like,
is-
that's a dumb bitch text. But then I actually did talk to you about something that did matter. So the call was actually.
You do send me a lot of DB texts that are like, which I put on my Instagram when the Carter brothers, Aaron Carter and Nick Carter, were having restraining order issues against each other or whatever.
They still are.
I know. No, I came out of a movie theater to 25 texts from Jonathan, all caps, all of them. And all I saw, because it was like a first glance, I was like, why would he send me so much? I just saw like emergency Carter, like something. And I was
Yeah.
like, I thought that you were in the no, I saw emergency Carter, and I read it as like emergency urgent care.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, something must have happened to him. And then it was literally like paragraphs about,
Yeah.
well, one paragraph about the Carter brothers,
And
then
screenshots.
it was literally the direct quote was, "Why don't you ever answer your goddamn?" Wait, no, hold on. I'm gonna actually read.
It
Let me
was
get a
in
transcript.
jest. It was in jest. It was just.
I know,
But
it did terrify
you know what
me.
is weird is like we are sometimes off in that like when I want to actually leave you a voicemail, you answer, and then when I really want to talk to you, you don't answer. You know what I mean? Like because to be honest, the other day when I dumb bitch called you,
You just wanted to talk.
no, I wanted to leave a voicemail, but you answered on the first ring.
Because
so I had to pretend that I was actually like wanting to talk to you, but I didn't want to talk to you, girl. I didn't want to talk to you.
I didn't want to talk to you.
I wanted to talk to your voicemail, who, by the way, Katie's voicemail, I have left her so many messages that her voicemail is now mid-sentence cutting me off. 42 seconds into my last voicemail, her voicemail literally, it didn't say like voicemail full. It said, "Are you satisfied with your message?" 42 seconds in, like in the middle of a sentence, like your voicemail is becoming sentient.
Are you done?
It is becoming
It's because
sentient.
you have driven it that crazy.
Yes.
Okay, so all this was about how we're trying to be positive now, so we want to focus on things we love. And one reason that we are friends is because we have so many shared things in common that are so many specific shared things. Like, truly, when we became friends, I felt like, I mean, you're younger than me, but I felt like it was like having a secret little brother who like knew like we would speak in shorthand in all of our cultural touchstones, like everything we loved. We like bonded over like if there was like a little like movie rom-com montage of our friendship,
Yes.
it would be like Amy Winehouse Back to Black album.
Right. 18s.
Who knows the 18s? They were a teen cover group of ABBA
Yes.
in the mid 2000s.
Yes. And also, can I say, there's something about the late 90s, early 2000s that connects us. And I
Yes.
think even though we were at different ages, that was an important time for you because that was when you were like coming of age, right?
Yes.
And for me, I think I'm stunted back there because that is when my first trauma occurred.
And what was that trauma?
I mean, we're not going to get into it in this episode, but that's why you have to keep listening. What is Jonathan CERDA-ROWELL's trauma? You know?
Yeah, it is. And everything we are. And we're very into like, any sort of like teen witch situation.
Absolutely.
We love Lauryn Hill. We love
Chola culture.
Chola culture.
Which is very
raised...
unique in a gay straight dynamic because
Yes.
mostly in Hollywood you get the white gay straights.
Right.
Right? Where it's like, meaning both of them are.
Yeah.
So they're not going to dip into Chola culture and they're not going to dip into like, but Katy actually, her mom is like an honorary elder white Chola. And Katy also went to a school that was like very Latino. And so
I grew up in Orange County in the 80s, 90s. My mom used to teach at Garfield High School in East LA, which is the high school from the movie Stand and Deliver.
and my mom's high school.
It is your mom's high school.
Yes.
And Stand and Deliver is Dead Poet Society for brown people, as I like to say. Yeah. That's when I actually also understood your essence, because one day you were telling me about like some road rage incident and I was like, you are like acting like a crazy chola. And then I was like, oh, that's who you are.
Yeah.
Now I understand
That's
you.
who all my sisters are.
Because you were raised among them.
Yes. Like, here's the thing. I am someone who is like basically from the LA suburbs, right? Eagle Rock, but I'm raised by like hood people. Like both my parents grew up in that environment. All my sisters grew up in that environment. I'm like the first one in my family to be raised in like a suburban, like non-hood area.
To be raised Pasadena.
To be raised Eagle Rock.
Eagle Rock, of course, but
which is very different.
no,
But
of course.
But it is that is true. So I still have like I remember sitting in my car, sitting in the car with my mom, and like my mom, like, you know, who was like a benevolent figure, like watching this woman like cross the street, and she was being like so like swishy while she walked, but so slow. My mom was like, "Shake it, but don't break it, bitch." And I was like, "Mom," and my mom is the nicest like woman from like rural Michoacan in Mexico, but like she did grow up mostly in Lincoln Heights, and so it's like that did come out in her. So that is like, I am just constantly boiling. My blood is always boiling when I'm driving.
Because you are a fiery Latina.
I mean, I hate to feed into the stereotype, but I am.
Yeah.
You know? And you are Gwen Stefani in the Luxurious video.
I am exactly that.
Yes.
Slash and Ice Queen. We're very fire and ice. No, but yeah, Gwen in the Luxurious video is absolutely my essence.
In that video, what really is your essence is, remember when Gwen at the end arrives to the quince at the park?
Yes.
And she's like walking with all the like beautiful kids.
And she's wearing like Dickies shorts
Yes.
with the Cholo knee-high socks.
Yes. That's your essence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like sometimes you even know about parts of Chola culture that I didn't even know about because it was like pre my time.
Yeah.
Like you'll know like bits of like 80s Chola culture, which would then I'll like text my sisters and they're like, yeah, duh.
Yeah.
You know? So that is actually something that connects us. You know what I mean? Like you would be like, why don't your sisters ever wear Cortezes? And I was like, I don't know why they didn't wear Cortezes. I was like, I don't think they did. Remember, I was like, they didn't.
Yeah.
And then like I texted them and they were like, yes, we did. What are you talking about? You know?
course.
Yeah. But I don't think I like identified it at the time.
Yeah.
So.
But you're a little bit younger, so that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But there are so many things we love.
Yes.
Yeah. We love, what else do we love? Shakespeare in Love.
Shakespeare in Love. I look like a bloated version, bloated light skinned Latino version of Joseph Fiennes.
Oh my God, Joseph Fiennes, love of my life. I was thinking, I was like, okay, so like if we had a show and we were gonna do like a bunch of like, or if we were like doing a Vanity Fair Emmy spread,
Yes.
and then they had like us because we're like partnerships. If they had us as like famous couples or whatever,
Yes.
we would be the cover of Shakespeare in Love.
Yes.
Like 100%.
Yes. And Chris, your boyfriend, would be Harvey Weinstein.
Yes.
In the middle, just looking down upon us, like darkly, you know?
Yeah. You would be Frida. You would be Salma Hayek being victimized by Harvey Weinstein and Frida.
Okay, can we talk about for a second Salma Hayek's beautiful, I am gay,
Tits.
I am not trying to objectify her beautiful breasts.
Yeah.
In that those were breasts, like
Yeah.
artful. When they took off that plaster cast and you saw her like amazing breasts,
Yeah.
it is truly great. Like this is what I do love about being gay. I can appreciate your breasts. Like Katy has great breasts.
Thank you.
I've had another friend of mine who I saw her breasts and I was like, those are beautiful, and they were not big. They were just very beautiful.
Tasteful.
Yeah, but Salmas are big. They
Yeah.
can be beautiful in all different sizes, but it was like, oh
I'm
my God.
Gwyneth in Shakespeare in Love.
You are.
I actually every night I come home and I unbandage my breasts.
You actually are a bit bustier than Gwyneth. You know that because Gwyneth could bind herself real easy, and I
Yeah.
feel like it wouldn't take a kind of time. You'd
I'd
need
have to
a
do
maid.
a few more twists.
Yeah,
there.
you would need 2 maids.
Yeah. My handmaids.
I will bind my breasts and hold my breath. I don't know. What's the line?
Until I'm ashamed if I can't remember it, but yeah, we would be Shakespeare in Love. We could also be.
Although you
I was
weren't
just
into the
thinking-
craft.
Oh no, you know who else we are? Velma Kelly and Roxy Hart.
Yes. Okay. Wait. But who is whom?
You're Velma.
I'm Vel.
Yeah,
Is it because I'm fatter?
it's because you're more dramatic.
It is kind of true. Also, I'm
And then
meaner.
you're the meaner, dramatic one, and then I'm the like quiet one that's like, I'll cut you later, or I'll like surpass you later. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll say nothing now, but in 10 years I will destroy you.
You will surpass me later.
I have a few vendettas I'm working on currently.
What if that is our trajectory in career? What if you surpass me, but then we end up at the end of our career doing a
prison.
double act? Yes, in prison. What else? Also, I did kind of want to circle back to talk about the 18s.
Yes.
Because I have noticed this like theme in 2 bands. What is it? What's that sweet? This is before both of our time, but like, what's that like other Swedish
Ace
band
of
that
Base.
was? Yes, Ace of Base. It's always like 2 Swedish women who are beautiful, who are like literally doing all the singing. Same with ABBA, right?
Yeah.
And then 2 guys who are doing nothing.
What do they do?
Literally nothing. I know that they don't. Well, for sure, the 18s guys didn't do anything. I could
Well,
believe Ace of Base and ABBA. Maybe they wrote the
As
stuff.
someone who personally saw the 18s in concert in Disneyland in, I believe, 2002,
Okay.
weeknight concert, big deal, got to go. And halfway through the set of lip syncing, which I'm sure was hard, one of them went and like jumped. You know how like they do that fun, guys do that fun split where it's like half of a like they go on one knee or whatever.
Yeah.
He hurt his ankle mid set, and I think his name was probably like Svansin, like I don't know,
Svansinkarch.
whatever it was, and he was trying to perform through it like a beast, but he couldn't, and you could see he kept like hurting. It was the blonde one, and they had to cut the 18 set short, which was very sad. But I do remember that they were just like, you know, like, thank you to being here, America, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what do they do in this band? And then I remember the guys, like, they took a breath and they went, what's that song? It goes like, they go, take a chance, 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 take a chance.
Take
and
a
they had
chance
to,
on me.
Take a chance, take a chance, take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. They had to say
Yeah.
that for probably 5 minutes straight.
Oh,
and
my
I was like,
God.
that is hard to like say that nonstop.
Especially English not being their like fluent language, because they weren't like completely fluent when they got famous, which is fine because they were all 14 when they got famous.
Right.
So they weren't even done with their English schooling yet.
Yes.
You know?
Take a chance, take a chance, take a chance, take a chance.
They did actually still play a lot of 18s when I was in Europe this past summer. The most Europe
I love it.
thing was we were walking through like the graffitied alleys of Lisbon in Portugal, and we were walking from this like boring bear bar that we went to, and I like bears, but it was just kind of like not happening. So then we like walked to this like Twinkie bar that was like tiny, and they all thought I was Spanish because I look very
'Cause you
Spanish,
are.
right? And so the bartenders were like talking to me in terrible Spanish because Portuguese people speak better English than they do Spanish. So I could pretend like I was from Spain and like be like judging their Spanish or whatever, but they were all playing like 18s remixes.
Oh,
it was
my
and the
heaven.
floor lit up, and it was a tiny thing. It was like an 18s music video, but it was weird because it was in like this like dingy part of Lisbon that kind of looked like if you picture like poor parts of Havana. That's
yeah.
kind of what it looked like.
Yeah.
And you just like walked into this like super modern bar inside this like old building. It was cool, and I just had wished you were there.
I loved Europe because it is always 2004.
Mm-hmm.
The style, the men are wearing capris, you know.
Yeah.
I miss when my hair was kind of like short and flippy. I remember I miss when a girl could look in the mirror with sort of spiky flippy layers,
Yeah.
and just be like, I am the most beautiful woman in the world in wide leg capri pants and
Yeah.
a flippy haircut.
Oh, another thing to let any listeners know more about you is explain to anyone who has not seen our web series who your mom is and what that means to you.
My mother is a woman who is eccentric. My mother trained in circus arts in the 70s. She trained as a mime. She's a juggler. She juggles torches and knives when she's trying to pull focus from me all the time. And she is also a Spanish teacher, and she's just like a whack. Like when you imagine like just an eccentric, fun, middle-aged lady in turquoise and a lot of like not scarves but wraps.
Yeah.
It's my mom, you know.
And
she is the kind of person who would be like, so nice to see you, Jonathan. So nice to see you, Jonathan CERDA-ROWELL.
Yeah.
Like
she would like really
she
do
loves
it.
an accent. She loves a cultural, yeah.
That is like it is interesting to know, like to me, you're very exciting, but then meeting your mom and your sister, realizing you're the most conventional
I'm the
out of
boring
the three.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you add in your aunt,
Yeah.
you are the most conventional.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because then your sister's also a wonderful woman who, if you want to.
My sister Ingrid, hello, shout out, our
Yes.
number one. Yeah, she's an actress.
Yeah. Hello,
She's-
sister.
Hello, sister. Have to cut that out.
No, we
she's
love
poly.
Ingrid.
No, I can't say that she's poly.
Okay.
Yeah, my sister. They're all like Renaissance fair kind of folk cultural
Right.
people. And I'm like I'm the black sheep in a family of black sheep.
Yeah. See,
Meaning I'm the blonde sheep.
are you really the only true blonde?
No. I just mean
Oh, okay.
just that.
Because I was about
I'm
to
the weird-
post on your mom and
Yeah.
sister's Facebook. Bottle
How dare
blondes,
you.
bitches. No, that is interesting because I think that's one thing that attracts me is inside your blood, you have like an ethereal witch, like European Wicca, ancient
Elven
realm type thing
Yeah.
going on.
I'm very
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett in Lord of the Rings.
You really are.
Right.
That is kind of your bloodline.
Yeah.
And in my bloodline, it's like hood Latina bitches who are kind of homophobic, but also will like.
But we'll beat anyone up at any time on your behalf.
Yes, that is true. But then like we'll say something cutting to you, but then like text you later that they love you. It's very weird, but also just like fiercely loyal, I would have to say.
That's true.
Although I don't speak to one of my sisters. And I would love to continue to keep it that way. She has veered off a path that in which there is no coming back from. But yeah. And then we find out that I have recently another sister from my dad's previous, not even marriage, just like teen romance.
She might be a future guest.
Yes. She, and of course my dad's half Mexican, half white from East LA, and of course in his tradition he only has ever had kids with Latinas.
Which is great.
She turned out to be Puerto Rican, so I do have a half Puerto Rican sister. I mean a half sister who is Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And then my other three sisters are Mexican like me. So yeah.
So we're from different worlds, but somehow we come together and we make it work.
Yes. But I do think that both of us are like the most boring of our family.
Well, I like to think that I'm the fun one, but
Well, meaning like
cool.
the one, like for instance, you're the most conventional of your family,
Yes.
and I'm if it's okay to believe, I am the least troubled out of my family.
And that is amazing to me.
I mean, honestly, my sisters have been shot and stabbed
and have shot and stabbed.
Yeah, and also and like the sister that and done that too. And the sister that I just found out about, my Puerto Rican sister, she's been through a lot of hard stuff in her life too. And so, you know, with me, like, yes, I've been through like the gay thing's hard and all that stuff, but it's like it helps when, like, you know, you could afford growing up to get the like actual brand Captain Crunch and not the off brand.
Do you think that's what made you gay?
Sugary
brand,
cereal, yes.
Rainbow on brand Captain Crunch.
Yes, absolutely.
Is it rainbowy? I can't remember.
I forgot.
Oh well. What else do we have on our list?
Okay.
To talk about. What new beginnings? What do you?
Oh yeah, the new beginnings.
What else?
So Katie, what are you looking forward to now coming up in your life, especially embarking on the new decade?
Yes, I'm very excited because I have been living in a small cave for the last 5 years since I moved to LA, and I just got a 1-bedroom apartment. So the Coven is upgrading, and it's going to be very exciting. I have a whole Palm Springs gay. It's in my mind. It's like my new place is like very bright and sunny, so it's going to be like my gay Palm Springs getaway.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to decorate that.
It's a block away.
It's literally it's 1 block away, but a million miles. And I've been wanting to grow emotionally and physically into a larger space.
Yes.
That's what I'm looking forward to. And I am tired of, like, just in general, I feel like because the larger political world is so crazy and everyone's just screaming at each other and stuff, it's like I want to not get caught up in all that. I think it's mostly damaging and toxic. Like, it's not helping anybody. I'm just trying to, like, realign, like, what do I care about? What can I control? And who can I help?
Right.
And how can I, like, be of service? And what do I actually like to do? You know? And just trying not to be not toxic or negative, but like I feel defeatist a lot. I'm very much like, I tried, well, it didn't work, so whatever. So I am wanting to be more like, it's okay, just keep going one thing at a time. Like, you never know. It is true, you never know what the future holds, good and bad.
Right.
And I've had, the older you get, the more experiences you have on both sides. Right. So I am just really excited to decorate my house.
That's great.
As every white woman is.
I think for us, and this is a good thing to do right before you sign this new lease. Mm-hmm. Remember how in the past we used to come up with like an escape plan strategy where we would go
or fantasy life.
Yes, we would like quit comedy and like move to like Yucca Valley, Joshua Tree, like the witchy area, but not too far away from Palm Springs if we ever wanted to like go to the gay club.
Yeah.
And just like live like old witch lifestyles together out in the desert in like a beautiful like adobe house or something.
Yeah, little stream trailer.
I think for this new decade, our resolution should be no escape plan, because you're signing this new lease. You're going to decorate this house as if this is going to be your place for like an indefinite time. Yeah. There is no escape plan.
I like that. Can we talk about some favorite moments of our friendship?
Yes. I feel like we're dying.
Yeah.
We're both just die on a...
Who can say what? No, it was some of my favorite moments of like us being the same person and being like, oh my God.
Okay.
One time we were at a Christmas party of a comedian, very funny friend comedian, and his girlfriend's friend, some rando, came up to us, and then he was like, hi, I'm Odyssey.
And we just looked at each other.
And we just stared at him.
And we didn't give him anything, I don't think.
We didn't, and I could not believe, like, okay, if he was a Greek and had said, like, my name's Odysseus, I'd be like, okay, cool. And if he was like anything, like, he said it with such conviction
Only
and
if he was
seriousness.
a Greek national would we do that, because he could have been Greek for all we know, but he was American.
Sure, but like, it's not just to come up to someone and say, hi, I'm Odyssey.
Yeah.
And no context, no like, I know it's crazy, my parents named me that, or da-da-da. It was just...
Also, it's like he knew what he was doing. It reeked of that. It was very like, I just am so excited to say my name. It's like, oh God. And we gave him nothing. And even though you were very good at being like welcoming and professional, even if you don't like feel like that, right? In that moment, I feel like I like overtook your heart and we both just iced him in a way where he like didn't talk to us.
And that was the right move, because I found out later that he was a jerk because our friend told us.
Good. And then we legit, that was like our cue to leave the party.
Yeah.
We were like, let's get
And
the hell out.
and that's the funny, like, I feel like there's a handful of things that I've never stopped laughing about, and that was one of them.
Yeah.
Of the a person just said that to us.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Do you have another, can you think of a favorite friendship moment of ours?
Probably on the best day of our life. Which
Say
is
it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Queen Mary.
Yes. So we met a drag queen named Queen Mary. No. We went to the Queen Mary in Long Beach one day, and
Shout out to Keith Carey, who worked there and who got us tickets.
Yes. And Chris was there, but it was really
But it
more
really
about
wasn't
us.
about him.
It really wasn't. Well, first of all, the reason you know that it wasn't about him, even though we love him, is that we staged our own wedding at the
yes,
top
we
of
did.
the boat, and Chris just like became the photographer. Chris is our straight friend,
Yes.
who is also your boyfriend. He just became the photographer,
Yeah.
and we like got married basically.
We took all these ones. We took a ghost tour,
Yes.
and I seem to remember that every time they would finish the ghost story, I would go, "That's not how I remember it."
And then I would sing in the abandoned underground pool. I'd be like,
yeah.
London Bridge is falling down. I would just like sing that during the tour, and no one thought it was funny except
No,
for us.
but
And
we
I
had
don't.
the time of our lives. We
Yeah.
had the best Bloody Mary on the Queen Mary.
Well, I didn't. I don't like Bloody Marys. That's where we
I did then.
diverge.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was, I don't know, what made it. It was just the best day of our lives.
Yeah.
And it I feel like we went to the Queen Mary. We were ghosts.
And I
drank.
weighed 160 pounds. That was a good time.
I mean, yeah, what a day.
Yeah.
And that was probably 3 years ago, and I don't think we've ever been happier, or I don't think I've been that happy since.
No, I honestly feel like that day happened, and then we've been working so hard on obviously at our day jobs, but then at
And
like
vengeance.
comedy on our revenge
Revenge.
on our day jobs, on our comedy stand up, and on writing, and on our projects that we work on together.
Yeah.
And so it's been 3.5 years since then, and we have not had any fun except for this moment right now.
Right now.
It does kind of feel like that sometimes.
You know who I don't get, but I'm afraid of being the person. You know how there's like these like very business power like workaholic people, and they're just like, I haven't had a vacation in 7 years and I don't even care. I don't want to be that person. I'm not that person, but I'm just afraid that I'll be one, because when I put on a blazer, I become that person.
Okay, but let me ask you this. In our business where it's very like flush and then or feast and then famine, if you ever had like a big thing where it was like, okay, you're getting a lot of attention for XYZ, right?
My sex tape.
Absolutely.
Coming 2020.
And the sex tape, it's because the jokes in it are hot.
Yeah.
That everyone's like, that dig was not good. That sex was whack. But
That
those
is
jokes are so
That's
hot.
such a female thing. Okay, I'm going to be like, I'm going to do a very feminist empowering thing, and I'm going to do my whole special while I'm fucking a guy.
Oh God. And you just keep pulling the micro. No, it's emasculating too, because the microphone is bigger than his dick.
Yeah.
And he keeps like having trouble because he's like, you're also like too funny. Also, there's an audience there, so it's taking him out of it.
It's a lot. And then I have to do a press tour, and they'd be like, so you were fucking a guy the whole time, right?
And you were like, kind of. He was like half hard, like, saying all that stuff. I forgot where that was going.
Business, us, favorite
Oh,
moments.
okay, no. So in the event that you had something happen in your career where it was like, well, this is your moment, and you didn't know if you were ever going to have a moment like this, I do think that
a moment like this.
Beautiful. Shout out
Thank
to
you.
Kelly. I actually hope she's the one who wins that daytime war. I didn't like Rue's. I thought Rue was I'm going to say it. I thought Rue was kind of dumb.
I think Kelly Clarkson should take over Colbert, Conan. They can all go, and Kelly Clarkson should stay.
Colbert's very
kidding.
Colbert's
I'm
fine.
kidding. We'd love any writing jobs on any staff.
Well, here's the thing. I'm like, well, no. I do like all the late night stuff, but in terms of they're all in a daytime war, right?
No, yeah.
Right. So it was
But you want
Jerry.
her to beat Ellen?
No. They're like in a 3-way war. You don't know this? It's like Rue, Jerry O'Connell. Is that him? The guy who's hot
Go
now.
over Wendy Williams, didn't he?
Yeah. Who's like hot now? Who's like from Stand By Me? He was like like Gordy or whatever. Maybe not Gordy, but the fat one. And
Gordo.
I love fat men, by the way. So I know I've been like fat this, fat that. I was a fat man. I fuck fat men. I love fat men. Anyways, and then there's Kelly, and I think she had the best talk show out of the three, because I think Rue is great, but I do kind of want to see him more in a context of like talking to like queer people and drag and all that stuff. And Jerry was just kind of like blah. But Kelly is like, she's good at asking questions. She like talks too much, which is perfect. And she like sings amazing in the middle of interviews. I'm like, that's what we want.
Because you see yourself in her. That's why.
Yes. And I see you in her.
That means so much.
Yeah.
Because I'm Miss Independent.
That video, after we're done with this podcast, actually now I am ready to wrap up because I actually do think we should watch Miss Independent on YouTube together.
Chunky highlights. That's all I have to say.
Chunky highlights. Also, wait. We also connect on Practical Madge.
Yeah.
We connect on Practical Madge on many levels. What else do we?
All witchery.
All witchery, except not the craft, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, it's like fine.
Yeah, but did you see it back in the 90s? Because you were totally that.
No, I lived it.
But you were totally that era.
That's true.
You would have been like junior high, 8th grade era.
I know, but I missed it because, again, I was living it. But
yeah. Thank you guys all so much for listening to our first sneak peek episode of Living with Jonathan and Katy.
Stay tuned for crazy
guests. Again, we're going to have Satanists and Scientologists.
Nudists.
Yes, nude, because I want to see how uncomfortable you are with that in your apartment.
I will be horrified.
We all have to be nude in order to make him comfortable.
No, that's not true. Nudists love to make everyone uncomfortable.
Well, on that note,
Bye.